Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews. I want to make a slight correction. Now, what I mean by this, if you have seen my previous video, I did a video on Dr. Stone, chapter 4 and 5. 4 and 5. And basically in that, I mentioned that I was waiting on Hungry Marie's chapter 6 to be scanulated. I have found that it has been scanulated now on Gemini Box. Oh, promoting a website, oopsie. Anyway, because that's out, I will be doing a video on 5 and 6 for that tomorrow, if, providing everything else goes well. Probably later on in the evening, so around about 9-10 p.m. UK time. So please look out for that. With that being said, chapter 2 and 3 of Robo X Laser. And before we get into anything else, I just want to talk on something. For the fans of Kuroko no Basket, do you not think Robo is like Kuroko and basically Muira Yuzou, that prodigy that's in the school that's looking for his rival, is basically Aomine? I'm just saying it's such a resemblance. But anyway, let's get into the review. So, chapter 2 and 3. It was funny, ironic, and kind of cool at the same time. My main kind of concern with it, and it's probably because it is introductory chapters, is the fact that the chapter seems drawn out. So even though I've made kind of like comments and like I've made notes, for example, ultimately there's not much to discuss because it's like a few actions are drawn out in each chapter. So I'll explain. So to break down chapter 2, basically what happens in chapter 2 is a few things. Number one, Shintaro, the captain of the golf association, wants Robo to join. He basically refuses because he doesn't see the point in the whole competitiveness of it, and he just doesn't see the point. Basically, Miura, this prodigy, is basically contemplating the sound. He basically hears the sound and he wants to know like who this person is, and he's waited for a week at this driving range. Bearing in mind the places where he's heard it is purely a driving range. So essentially you go there, you work it out, and you get what distance you can and that, and get it as close as you can to the hole. That's pretty much what that space is. So it isn't really a golf course where you do multiple shots to put it in. It is literally just a driving range. With that being said, Robo ends up going with Tamoya there. Tamoya, who's basically useless at golf but really is enthusiastic about it. And Robo has a go. And whilst having this go, whilst Miura is leaving, he hears this sound again. And Robo gives the golf club back to Tamoya, to which Miura basically thinks it's Tamoya who's made that sound, who challenges him to a match. Now the thing is, now you're probably thinking, why did Tamoya agree to this? There's two things for it. Number one, the guy that's just rocked up to it is like a celebrity, and he's nearly a pro as it is. So it's kind of like a big situation for a person who's enthusiastic about it. It's kind of like meeting Tiger Woods and Tiger Woods saying, I want a match against you, and you're like, what, me? Really? Okay, cool. The second thing is, he's complimented him, considering he's useless and basically he's not as good. I say useless, but there's always a chance for development, but basically he isn't as good as he wants to be. So for someone that's good, that's telling him you have potential, it kind of is like his wildest dreams are coming true. So of course he's going to accept, which makes it funny and sad at the same time for him. Flash forward to chapter number 3. They end up going to a proper golf course, a practice course really for three or four kind of holes. We get an additional kind of thing with that though. So we get confirmation of a different kind of area to practice, but we get told about turf bags, which again adds to that element of learning about the sport. So essentially, when you smack the ball, it takes up some of the turf because of the pinning, and that leaves a hole. To save the grass, they use a type of sand, basically, and that kind of maintains the turf to a certain degree. So introducing that as well, I really liked. So then we get to the nuts and bolts of the chapter, and Miura basically, with his first drive, good technique, decks it. It's gone really far and 300 yards, but basically said, look, I'm holding back. You don't do that your first 10. You warm up, you build up your muscle kind of flexibility, and get the blood flowing before you go for it. Then comes Tamoya's turn, who is ridiculously bad, and Miura realizes straight away, oh my god, I made a mistake. I assumed it was him. It's not him. Let's go. And then Tamoya gets it. He goes, wait a minute. He goes, Robo, have you been practicing before? this is interesting because he's been at the driving range before, which is probably what Miura heard. But also, he's practiced with his dad. In chapter 2, we see a section of him where he goes, his dad's a chef, and whilst waiting for basically stock, there's a section where they've got like a basket and they practice basically putting, kind of like old school toy golf that you get when you're a kid. And that's where he's got the practice from. Anyway, moving back to the present point with chapter 3, Tamoya realizes it's Robo that he's basically kind of heard. So he goes, oh, you must mean him. It's him you're referring to. And Miura's like, no, he doesn't seem to have that type of aura. But seeing Miura in action has driven the competitive side of Robo, because he wants to see what his theory, his practice, his technique can do against a person like that. Because Miura basically loves golf, he's passionate about it, he doesn't want to lose to anybody, he's recognizing the sweet sounds, and because he's on that kind of technical level, it's kind of resonated with Robo. And Robo goes, I want to fight you, I want to match with you. And basically this starts that. So basically this is going to start that rivalry. But Miura's not convinced. He goes, prove it to me. I mean, well, knock that back to me. Knock the ball back to me. And he taps the ball and Miura catches it. And he goes, that's the sound. It's you. And then they set up for that match. So it's a nice and slow build, but I'd like to see where they go from here. I mean, is this guy going to be that catalyst for Robo falling in love with golf? Because bearing in mind, up until this point, he's only been putting it into a basket, and he's got this technique down, which is brilliant. The laser is an amazing technique. It's like the perfection of physics to a certain degree to hit a ball so straight. Now he's going to see how it applies to the real course, the technique that's involved, the different irons that's involved, and kind of strategy and all this type of thing. This is where the really intricate part of golf is going to be in there. What this reminds me of, although it's not directly linked, and it's the only thing similar to it is golf, is the movie Happy Gilmore, where Happy Gilmore has such a brilliant drive because of the way he does it in his unique way, but he has to get taught how to manage the rest of it. Putting is his weakness, and then he learns by doing crazy golf and all this other additional stuff. It reminds me of that, but it's building up nicely. It isn't the most the most exciting from the new releases at the moment, but it has potential. Now Dr. Stone I think is more exciting at the moment. I find Hungry Marie hilarious, but there's a certain potential about this. I want to kind of see it through and see how far it goes. With that being said, that is my review for chapter 2 and 3. Look forward to Hungry Marie tomorrow, 2 chapter reveal catch up, and hopefully other catch ups to come. With that being said, like, comment, share, subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Peace.